Hi, in this video I am going to share the 11 books that we just checked out from the library and that I read with my 3.5-month-old daughter. I just wanted to start this series of videos to reflect on the books that I'm reading with her and her reactions to them, and just also to share with you the books that we enjoyed the most. Maybe this will help you to find some books that you might enjoy with your young kids as well. So I'm going to start off with our favorite one out of this batch of 11, and that is Another Word for Neighbor. And what I enjoyed most about this book was the story itself. It's about a grandpa who's become kind of grumpy, and the way that his neighbors were able to connect with him and basically bring back his warmth. So I thought that this was a beautiful story about community. I appreciated that there weren't too many words on each page, which just means that there's a lot of illustrations. If you have a young child, I think that that helps to keep them engaged in the story, because they're able to keep seeing new visuals that help them to, I think, learn language and also just stay engaged with the story itself. So beautiful illustrations, beautiful little story. And I love this one. It's called Another Word for Neighbor. Next, I want to share our second favorite, Outside Mom, Inside Mom. It is a really charming story about a mother and the way that we sort of present ourselves. We might have a version of ourselves that we take to work, and another version of ourselves that we have at home, another version that we have when we're with family or when we're with friends. So I thought it was a great idea to just present that concept to kids and help them to maybe understand the way that we code switch. Maybe just to help that make sense to a child. And then also it's entertaining to me as an adult to reflect on that as well. Next up, I want to share with you Dumpling Day. This is a really cute one, and what I absolutely love about this book is it's very singable. You can tell that as soon as you start reading it out loud, because there's so much rhythm to the way the words are. And then also there's a counting opportunity, so you can kind of teach your kids how to count or teach your kids a little bit of math. I just want to read one page to you so that you get the idea of how I did it. Warm tamales are wrapped in corn husk. Prima steams them from dawn to dusk. 6 dumplings before, then we add 1 more. How many dumplings now? 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6 plus 1 equals 7. You know, so you can just kind of engage with your kid, and I think it becomes kind of a fun song to get to go through. It's sort of like 12 Days of Christmas. It's very repetitive, but just a very fun book to get to perform for your kid and with your kid. And she was engaged with it as well. Next story is called All That You Are, and the real star of this book is the vivid illustrations. They are super colorful and super fun. It's a story about celebrating, you know, the magic of you, celebrating what's special about you. And I really appreciate that it's a story with such incredible illustrations. Simple theme, but just beautiful illustrations. This next one is also a fairly simple theme, and it's really about how you might, or your kid might, find special things in each member of their family. So here it's like, when you blow me a kiss, you are loving, like your grandpa, and your cousin Gigi, who gives big hugs. And so I think it's just a reflection on how we can observe the people around us and we can learn from them, right? You be adventurous like your aunt, be brave like your grandma, etc. Also appreciate not too long of text on each page, so I think it's really engaging for a young child. That was our experience. This next book is There Was a Tree, and this one is also a song book, so super fun to perform. We don't expose our kid to screens, or at least we try very hard not to. So I find that as a parent, that puts some extra pressure on you to be really entertaining, which turns out to be a really fun challenge. But anyway, I want to just do a quick demo for you of how I read this story to my girl. Now on this egg there was a bird, the prettiest bird that you ever did see. on the bird, oh, oh, the bird on the egg, and the egg in the nest on the branch, and the branch on the tree in the hole, and the hole in the ground. And the green grass grew all around, all around. The green grass grew all around. So each page is a little bit repetitive like that. So you can kind of get into a rhythm and sing a song. And I thought that was good for her. I also like that there's little illustrations to help your kid learn words like bird, egg, nest, tree. Really fun book for little ones. This next one is called The Umbrella Tree, and the goal of the book is actually to help your kid learn English and Mandarin. So it has text in English and then Mandarin below. We tried to get her learning some Mandarin using the little voice feature attached, but unfortunately my 3.5-month-old was not quite ready for listening to an audiobook. I think she really needs to have things performed for her to keep her engaged in it. She was getting distracted when we did that, but I did read to her this story in English twice, and she was pretty good through both of them. I think the story's kind of odd. It isn't about an umbrella that turns into a tree, but cute illustrations, cute pandas. It's still a fun book. Next up is Firebird. And this one has some gorgeous collage type illustrations. I thought the artwork in it was especially beautiful. At first I thought this book was a little bit simplistic because I read it in like 4 or 5 minutes. But I think if you're just getting a lot of books from the library, it's definitely worth picking up. It's only 5 minutes, and it's a beautiful story. It is about basically this ballerina speaking to this younger ballerina and saying, hey, the distance between us isn't so far. It is far, but you can do it. You know, you can follow your dreams. So really nice message in this book. If I were paying the full MSRP, I might not pick it up because it's a 5-minute read. But as a library book, it's a really nice one to pick up. Luli in the Language of Tea is next. This is another one that went by so fast. I think it was a 5-minute read. And it basically is about this little girl who is feeling kind of lonely in her class. And her idea was to bring a thermos of tea and some teacups and to make tea for her and her classmates. And then they all discover that the word tea is similar in a lot of languages, whether it's chai or shay or Thai or whatever. It turns out in Africa and in a lot of places in Asia, the word is the same because of the way that tea spread in those regions. So this was a cute little book, another little 5-minute read. I appreciate also that it's a story about a little girl, so I think it makes it easier for my little girl to kind of connect to that story. Next up is this book, Raven and the Lady, or the Tide Lady, Raven and the Tide Lady. And this is another book where the star is really the illustrations. These are just very vivid, special illustrations. I also like that it's a story about it's a Native American story. And so something I like to reflect on is, you know, living in America, it's really important to honor that original culture that used to be here. And so I was really happy to get to share this story. It is a very fast story, and it happened so fast I was kind of shocked when it got to the end. I thought I was just turning the page and then it was over. I didn't realize that that would be it. I kind of wish that the author might have done just a little bit more with like having fun with it and turning these into characters and just bringing it out a little bit more, sort of like expanding it basically into you imagine how a cartoon might play for a kid. This was very just straightforward, but gorgeous illustrations to bring it to life. So I really appreciated that. And finally, last book on the list, this is Luis de Torres' Sails to Freedom. And this is a historical fiction. My biggest issue with this book is that there were so many paragraphs here that for a little kid under 1 year old, I don't think she was ready for this kind of thing. And she was definitely getting distracted both the times that I tried reading this to her. But I think for an older kid, it might be interesting. It highlights how in the 1400s in Spain, Spain outlawed practicing Judaism. And so I thought that that was a nice piece of history to bring to life for kids. Obviously, some nice illustrations there, but it might not be right for that under one audience having longer paragraphs. So we don't take a whole lot of time when we pick up books from the library. Honestly, 5 to 10 minutes max, probably closer to 5 minutes. We just grab a stack, take them home, read them to her over a course of a few days, and then we like to also go through them all a second time before we return them. So in this series of videos, I hope to just share with you other stacks of books and my thoughts and experience on each of them. This is a really fun thing for me to do, I think, just to reflect on these stories. But I also hope that they inspire you in sharing stories like this with your own kids. If you'd like to follow along, just hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.